Ba weep grana weep ninny bang YouTube, RedWhiteandBluestreak here, and welcome to another edition of Prime Month. Actually taking place in the intended month this time, would you look at that? Now, for those of you who weren't here last year, which is definitely a lot of you, hi, welcome, hope you enjoy your stay. Prime Month is the time of year where we take a look at the many plastic interpretations of our beloved Autobot leader. Because one, my birthday is in the month of July, happy birthday to me, hopefully this is coming out on my birthday. I'm a quarter of the way through my life this year. Yippee. And two, I have way too many Optimus Prime figures to fit into my typical review schedule. The plan is to have at least one review every week for the duration of Prime Month, and, to accomplish that, I'm recording a lot of these well in advance, so let's see how I do. So first off, for this edition of Prime Month, we have Robot Toys RT01. No! Right, wrong Caesar. Which is this company's debut piece and a third-party figure based on a character that's not Optimus Prime. Is this just part of the tradition for Prime Month at this point? I think it is at this point. Maybe next year we'll start with MP60, who knows? This figure is an interpretation of Optimus Primal from the hit 90s sequel series to the Transformers, Beast Wars. And for those of you who don't know who Optimus Primal is, or what Beast Wars is, what? Did you just not watch Rise of the Beasts? Like a lot of people apparently. Starting with the show, Beast Wars is a sequel series to the original continuity for G1 Transformers. I say the original continuity because there were quite a few more. We'll get to that when we get to it. This show follows the Maximals, descendants of the long-deceased Autobots in their continued fight against the Predacons, who are the descendants of the mostly long-deceased Decepticons. Their battle ends up sending them back in time before the Autobots awake on Earth, leading them to take on the forms of animals native to the planet at the time and continue their fight. It sounds a bit ridiculous, but trust me, it's quality TV. Leading the Maximal faction is none other than Optimus Primal, a noble leader still kind of learning the ropes and hoping to live up to Optimus Prime's example. His ragtag faction doesn't make things easy on him, but they always pull together in the end, like the Autobots that came before them. He also turns into a monkey. Starting with the packaging for Caesar, he comes in a windowless box with an oddly familiar aesthetic to it. Resemblance to mech fans' toys aside, the art on the front of the box is really cool, but there's nothing on the back. Except these QR codes that... Wait, no, say it ain't so. Getting him out of the packaging for no reason in particular. We have everything here except... No. No paper instructions? I don't know how to break this to you, but... these figures don't come with physical instructions. I know. Take all the time you need. But in all seriousness, if I can toss my own 2 cents in, I'm not the biggest fan of instructions starting to follow the same trend as game instruction booklets, that being that they aren't there. I understand that it's better for the environment, and in many ways seeing a video from Motion makes things a bit easier to follow for this already easy transformation, and I get that in some particularly difficult cases, I'd probably toss the instructions aside and just look up a video anyways. Once again, probably from Motion, the GOAT. But they were always nice to have, usually a tool I'd turn to if I forgot a step or two in the transformation, but I'm not mad at their exclusion. Just disappointed. Which isn't something I'd say about the figure itself. Taking a look at this hold on. There we go. Taking a look at this damn dirty ape. This is clearly the Big Bot himself, with a couple artistic liberties taken with the sculpting which aren't unwelcome, but when their Megatron takes a pretty cut and dry approach to the character by comparison, I kind of wish they did the same here. But I'm not too mad at it. Really, I'm not mad at it at all. Like I said, they've done a wonderful job with how they've made this figure, at least in robot mode. Now, I can't say he scales the best with anybody that isn't a Beast Wars figure unless it's a Legends movie figure or an MP scale figure, since the Maximals and Predacons are meant to be significantly smaller than their predecessors, which doesn't make much sense when you think about it, but he looks good nonetheless. Especially with either Robot Toys Tyrant or Lucky Cat's Prime. Stay tuned for those reviews. The paintwork, which is just about anywhere that isn't black, is fantastic and very durable. I love the glossy metallic finish on the red bits here in the face, and oh sweet baby Primus the face. Now that is just prime. The sculpt alone makes me feel like Gary Chalk himself is here. Yeah, I don't really have connections like that. That's more of a jobby thing. But what does make this even better is that this isn't the only face sculpt we get with him. Pretty good segue, right? Come on, man, cut me some slack. Caesar has a more than healthy amount of accessories to take into battle, or display in my case. Starting with what's actually on his person, we get some masterpiece level integration with the arm and back cannons. They look amazing and fold up in a similar way to the masterpiece figure, or in a similar way to the Kingdom figure when it comes to the arm cannons. He has his two swords that every Optimus Primal is required by law to have, the staff which I'm actually unsure of the origin of, maybe something like Kingdom or something, and he has this face that I'm also not too sure of the origin of. I know it was on the original figure, but beyond that, I'm actually not too sure. Maybe it was an episode of Beast Wars that I missed or something, I don't know. What I am sure of, though, is the other faces that our Primate Primal comes with. Out of the box, he actually has his battle mask equipped, but other than that, he has this neutral face, a smiling face, and an empty spot in the packaging. Let me know in the comments if I was supposed to have another face here. One thing to note is that these faces are really small, so be careful. I recommend immediately placing them in a baggie with the rest of the accessories to avoid losing them. Though you can store the swords on his shoulders if you so desire, which you can also take advantage of the articulation if you want to have him in a pose that has him preparing for battle with the swords, Robot Toys has done a phenomenal job with their debut piece here. I wouldn't say they're on the level of impressive that Sirius is, but they've done a fantastic job nonetheless. It is impressive that we have articulated hands and a butterfly joint though. It was also a fantastic idea to make use of the die-cast metal the way they did here to support the joints, unlike a certain other third-party company I know. But one complaint I have here is that some joints are actually a bit too tight, such as the bicep swivel. Now, I understand why the forearms are on a swivel, to allow you to... But that, combined with the tight mushroom peg that the arm is on to join the elbow to the forearm, makes it a bit of a pain to turn the joint around. Also, a bit of a nitpick I have here is an ab crunch was entirely possible here, but I don't particularly mind its exclusion. Just about every bit of articulation you could want is here, and it's mostly smooth, so I'm satisfied there. But we've only talked about one half of the figure so far. What's the ape mode like? I mean, it's alright, like... Monkey. The transformation itself is so simplistic, an instruction manual is pretty much unnecessary. If this was an official figure back when they did transformation difficulty ratings, they would probably give this like a 2? But the resulting ape mode, well, it's alright for the scale. The creative liberties they've taken are very apparent in this mode, mainly with the face and chest. But I don't take issue with that really. I do feel a bit bothered when we look at the back though. It's mainly the shins. It's an issue that even plagues the masterpiece figure, and I wouldn't really be bothered too much by this if I didn't know it was possible to remedy it. Now, call me crazy, but I think we're at a point in toy engineering, specifically with third-party legends, to where we could easily take this, put it on a swivel and a hinge, and just have that turn around. That way it could blend in with the rest of the ape mode without impacting the structural integrity of the overall figure. But that's just my complaint, I guess. Just about all the articulation from the robot mode is present here, so I'm not going to do a full-on articulation segment for this. But a nice addition here is the opening mouth for the ape mode. Always a welcome touch with beast modes no matter the scale. And of course, he doesn't scale well next to anyone besides— oop! Almost spoiled how that's going to look. You're going to have to wait for next review for that one. Overall, this figure's really good. I'm glad to see third-party Legends companies besides Iron Factory start branching out to things outside of G1. I know we had that one company that did Legend-scaled War for Cybertron figures, but that ship sailed for the time being. What companies like Robot Toys and Mechanical Skull Studios are building truly impresses me, and they've definitely got my attention for future releases, especially considering those prices. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, SHIIIIIIZAAAAA Store. My only complaints lie in the small bit with the articulation and the back of the ape mode, because I'll continue to stand on my soapbox and tell you it's good, but it can be better. Is anyone gonna get that reference? You know, yeah, there are big enough Pedro Pascal fans out there that someone's gonna get that reference. 4 out of 5 is my final score for him. Get him where you can, though I recommend SHIIIIIIZAAAAA Store for the best price on this guy. Now, if only they could tackle more of the cast. Oh, wait. Okay, we've seen Unicron Trilogy, and now Beast Wars figures at this scale. But how in Primus's name do they pull off movie figures at this scale? Want to find out?